Hello there and welcome to Wargame Red Dragon. Yes, since today it's in closed beta. And well, I got a beta key thanks to a contest I won. And since today, well, of course, I'm trying it out. So before anything else, of course, the first thing we want to see is what's new. And this video is going to be about the new Armory. What's new in the Armory? There are a lot of new stuff, not just new units and new nations. So it's going to be something interesting to watch. So let's go to the Armory. Now, if you look at that, there are a lot of nations. And also there are a lot of alliances. We are going to enter into this in a second. New nations are the ANZAC, which are Australia and New Zealand together, Japan, South Korea, North Korea, which is, well, there are so many that you can see them now. You will have to filter them from alliances. And China. Those are the new nations. And there are new units for a lot of the different nations. But no, we are not going to look at the units themselves, even while we could, of course, because there are 1,457 units in this game. And if I have to go one by one, we can take like forever. Anyway, let's take a look at what's new in the Armory. If you are familiar with Wargame Erlang Bundle, you will know that there's a little bit of a problem where you are trying to compare different units and to find um, well, units with different tasks, and that's sorted out in this version. You are going to see it in a second. First of all, let's take a look at all the alliances. There are two alliances like Blue 4 and Red 4, which are, of course, the opposing forces in most of the games. Blue 4 is United States, United Kingdom, France, West Germany, Canada, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and South Korea, while Red 4 is East Germany, USSR, Poland, Czechoslovakia, China, and North Korea. Now, within each of those, Red 4 and Blue 4, there are different alliances. So you can get, for instance, the Red Dragons, which is a mix of USSR, China, and North Korea. Also, you can go for the Eastern Bloc, which is Poland, Czechoslovakia, and East Germany. This is really important because at the hour and at the moment of creating decks, you can create an overall Red 4 deck, a national deck for whatever nation you want, or an alliance deck. For instance, you can go for an Eastern Bloc deck, and you will have the freedom to choose from Poland, Czech, and East German units, not just from one of them. If you want to go with the Red Dragons, you will be able to choose from Chinese and North Korean units. Those are the Red 4 alliances. In the Blue Force, you have the Eurocorps, which is France and Germany together. Kind of funny. Scandinavia, which is Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. Commonwealth, which is the United Kingdom, Canada, and the ANZAC. And the Blue Dragons, which are Japan and South Korea. So those are the different alliances. And well, then you have the nations. Then you have the categories, which are pretty much the same as before with one new, which is the Marine category. And then you can sort all units by whatever you want. If you want to see just an era, you select an era and you will say only the units you want. Say that you are creating a deck, you are creating I don't know, Cat C. Cat C in this game is previous to 1980. Cat B is 1981 to 1985, and Cat A is 1986 and beyond. So let's say you are looking at a Cat C anti-aircraft unit. So you go to Roll, and you go to support, of course, and you want air defense in guns, well, there you have all the units you can choose from. You want missile units, you will see all the missile units, etc., etc. In each category, you can do this to select a role. That you want a thematic filter. Let me. There you go. A thematic filter. Well, if you want to see what would you be able to choose in, I don't know, U.S. Marine deck, well, you only have to right. You only have to choose thematic, a US, and Marine, and then you'll be able to see what you can choose from. This is strange. Oh, of course, because we can. All right. There you go. These are the units that you can choose in a Marine deck. So it's kind of a sorting out system that you can use to find. Oh, this is too soon to show. To find the roles and whatever you want. For instance, if you want to see which units are amphibious in the US deck, well, you select all, and you will have here all the amphibious units in vehicles, here in recon, here in tanks, here in support, here in infantry. Of course, infantry alone is not amphibious. You need a transport, and the transports are in the vehicle category. Helicopters, of course, are not going to be amphibious. So, yeah, and of course, logistics, which seems there's none at the moment. But yeah, you want to see what you can movement flying, which can move by flying. Well, in recon, you have get the choppers, vehicles, of course, none, helicopters, air, etc., etc. So you can sort out whatever you want to choose and see exactly what you are looking for, which is immensely useful. Now, the next thing, and to do this, we have to go to deck construction. Oh, sorry, no. Create. Let's do blue 4, select bonus. First of all, the bonuses. There's a difference here. In Wargame Airland Battle, when you chose a given nation, you will get more activation points. In Wargame Red Dragon is different. You get more availability per card. The more powerful the nation is, the less availability bonus you get. So for instance, let's see Eurocores. We went right now. All of them. I mean, this is a beta. We don't have everything sorted out still, but you will get different bonuses depending on the nationality you choose. AL is no bonus. USA will give the lesser bonus probably. And then, depending if you get an alliance or a nation, you will get access to the prototype units, of course, and different availabilities depending on how powerful your nation is, which is really cool. Type. The types are mostly the same as in Wargame Airland Battle, with the inclusion of a new one, which is support. Support will get in the other ones the bonuses are very similar to as in Wargame Airland Battle, but support you will get +1 XP for all the support units, 4 extra slots available for support, 4 extra slots available for logistic units. We are going to explain this in a second. So let's go, for instance, with an armored US deck, and then the era. You get extra activation points, not extra availability per card. This is very important because in Wargame Airland Battle, a very viable way to make decks is to make spam decks, which was just getting a Cat C deck. In Wargame Airland Battle was before 1975, in this is before 1980, and just choose cards with so many units that you could spam them. So you could go with a lot of different, very cheap units and just throw them into the map mindlessly. which could lead to things as the one you saw in my Swedish deck analysis. Someone spamming 60 T34s, which is a little bit annoying and a little bit gamey. So to avoid that, right now, the only way to increase your availability is choosing national bonuses. Eras give you more activation points. So let's choose a 1985 Armor US deck. Let's call it US 1. So we create that. Now, you will see that there's something different here. In Wargame Airland Battle, you could choose all the units you wanted in each category. All the units. The only problem was that past 1 point, you would get higher costs. Well, in Red Dragon is different. You have a top limit of 5 cards per category. The only way to get more is to choose flavor deck. I mean, specialization. So, for instance, in this particular case, we have gone for a armor deck. So we have the ability to get up to 7 different cards. Actually, 8. Sorry, 8 cards of tanks. Well, in normal conditions, you will get a top of 5. Also, you will see that the cost goes linearly up. First card is 1, second card is 2, third card is 2, fourth card is 2, fifth card is 3. Past that point, in the specializations, its extra card costs you 1. So there's a strong incentive to go for the specialization of your deck. If you have a specialization for tanks, you really want to make it count because you have cheaper tanks. Activation points are 60 for all decks and change depending on the category you have chosen. So let's create a US Armor deck, just for fun. Logistics. So you can see thematic. We are in an armor deck. We can only choose armored units. So let's go for a command vehicle. And next thing we are going to see, and I'm going to do it in tanks actually. We are going to go to tanks. And the other thing which is really new here is that you can compare different units in a much more easier way than before. So in Wargame Airland Battle, if you wanted to compare two units, you had to select one of them and then pass over the mouse over the other one. So as you can see here, the card changes. But of course, this is a little bit troublesome because you are watching all the time. You have to remember the numbers. It's not really that intuitive. So in Red Dragon, we can actually pin this unit and then compare it to whatever we want. So for instance, the Abrams, the M1 AP compared with the M1A1. And here we have all the stats of the two tanks, and we can directly compare one to the other and see where one is better than the other and where the other is better than the first, if there is something where it's better, of course. So this gives you a big boost to your ability to compare units to decide which ones you want to go with in your deck creation process. Now the next thing is that in Wargame Airland Battle you had, of course, the veterancy choices, but they were not really intuitive. You knew that if you got a hardened unit, it would have better chances to hit an enemy than a trained unit, but you didn't know exactly how much. But now you do, because you can see we have the M11P Abrams chosen. If we go with the veteran, we will have a plus 24% accuracy, plus 30% dispersion on artillery shots, that's only for artillery, plus 250% faster moral recovery than a rookie, plus 15% more chances to see and identify enemy units, and a minus 60% stun effect duration. The more experienced, the more efficient in combat, however, the less availability per slot or per card. Hardened, well, you can see accuracy is plus 16%, dispersion is plus 19, moral recovery is plus 200, chances to see is plus 10%, and minus 39% in stone effects. So you can directly watch the differences. Remember that in the stat card you have the basics. You have the stats of a unit in rookie condition. So you have to look at the stats here and then add these bonuses to reach exactly how your unit is going to behave in combat. And we are also with another big advantage here. Because in Wargame Berlin Battle you have numbers. For instance, accuracy 8. And you would be like, accuracy 8, that's cool, but exactly how does that translate into percentage? Well, right now you don't have accuracy 8 anymore. You have actual accuracy percentages. So for instance, the M11P has a 40% chance to hit at maximum range. And if you go with a veterancy of veteran, you will get a plus 24% accuracy. So you have a 64% chances to hit at long range, at top range. The closer you come, of course, the higher the accuracy is going to be. Stabilizer, another thing that was very unintuitive before, because you would have a bad or a good or a very good stabilizer, but how does this affect to your chances to hit? Well, right now the stabilizer is included in the stats, and you will have the chances to hit. So this tank, when moving, has a 30% flat chance to hit, plus the veterancy, of course. So yeah, that's a good stabilizer. The Abrams, for instance, has a 55% accuracy static and a 50% on the move, which means it has an excellent stabilizer. The Rise Patton, well, it has only a 20% chance to hit. Sheridan, a 15% chance to hit. So depending on the different stabilizers, you get better or worse stabilizers. And this is the chance to hit when on the move. Basically, this is accuracy on the move. AP power, same as before. HC power, same as before. Suppression, same as before. Rate of fire, same as before. All the rest is mostly the same, but you have the accuracy for the different parts. The armor layout is a little bit different. Before you had a little picture here. Now, well, now is front, side, back, and top. And down here, you have the strength, size, optics, speed, road speed, stealth, fuel capacity, and autonomy. This is the same as in Wargame Land Battle. However, here, amphibious. For amphibious units, the serialized one, for instance, you will get the speed at which this unit can move through water. If it has an NA, it means that it's simply not amphibious, so it can't move through water. And year and type, the type where these tanks are available. So those are the new stats. Those are the new things that you are going to have when building your deck. Now, the last thing, which is totally new, is the Marine section. The Marine section, as you can see, comes at 0 cost. You don't have to pay activation points for this, so you can fill, and actually you should fill all the slots with cards to maximize the effect you are going to have in maps with water. The thing is that not all of the maps have water, so the units that you place here are only going to be available in maps with water. So remember that, because you can choose to put infantry here. As you can see, let's go down a little bit and you will see that you can place, oh, hold on, where's the infantry here? Well, there you have a fab, there you have a stinger, there you have assault engineers. I'm sure marines are going to be somewhere. Anyway, you can put these units here. So you can put extra infantry over what you have here. But remember, if you are not in a map with water, the units you place here won't be available for you. So here you can put ships, destroyers, corvettes, frigates, coastal cutters, and even coastal artillery. And you can put also planes with anti-ship missiles. For instance, the A6C with harpoon missiles, which have the range, chances to hit, stabilizer, AP power, HC power, and reload time, which is basically rate of fire. And yeah, as you can see, there are some particular units that are only good for attacking enemy ships. Anti-ship. This can't be used against any enemies on the ground. And you will have range, etc., etc., etc. Then, I told you, well, let's use the filters here. Movement, sailing deep sea, for instance. And we see that the United States have access to, well, actually, this is not a United States ship, but the Oliver Hazard Perry, which is basically this thing, is very similar to the Perry. Well, actually, no. This is different. Whatever. They are placed under a NATO flag. So you can choose from whatever units you want to choose from. So you can see Hatsuyuki, which is Japanese, and the Perry, the Type 21 frigate, which is British, and you can choose this for your US deck. The idea here is that while the units that you put on the ground are from a nationality, if you choose so, of course, whatever naval units you have will be usually combined forces. So it makes sense to have international units for your marine, for your ships. So let's see coastal units. So here we have the Fremantle, Baekgu, which is Korean, I think. But you can see all of them are rated by their nation, not by their, by NATO, not by their particular nation. For instance, the Pohang is a South Korean ship, but you can choose it as a US. Now, that you want, I don't know, amphibious. Well, these are the amphibious units you can choose from. And that's pretty cool. So yeah, the thing is, you can put here anti-ship helicopters, you can put here anti-ship planes, you can put here ships, you can put troops to do amphibious assaults if you wish so. Your choice. You have to find the correct balance you want to use in your deck, and you will have all the cards you want here without costing you any activation point. And now finally, let's take this out. A very interesting thing here is that now the transports are limited. Now, what does it mean? Let's say that, for instance, I'm getting, well, in this particular deck, I want to go with Rifleman. So, if I want a couple of Riflemen with N113s, A1s, I can only choose two of them because I only have two N113s A1s available. So the next one I will have to go with Humvee or a Huey or whatever I want to choose from the transport choices are given. However, that also means that if for instance, the Manpath, the Red Eye, I can't use the N113A1 because it's already taken. So you have to find a proper balance between your transport vehicles to use them and spread them through your troops in the best way available and possible. So for instance, if I want to go with a Stinger in a Huey and an Assault Engineer in a Huey, now I can't put a Delta Force in a Huey. I would have to use a Chinook. As you can see, there's a 0 here. That means that all the transports are taken. This is very important because, of course, then you have more transport availability here in the recon. If you want some infantry, you will have to choose exactly which transport to choose. And as you can see, the Huey is taken. So you only can have a given set of transports per deck. And that, of course, that prevents people spamming, I don't know, for instance, in the Pact, getting a lot of units with Mi-24s, Hinds, which was something I will admit I was doing a lot, to get helicopters in this section and then not spending any points in the helicopter section. So saving myself activation points. Now you can't do that. Now you have to, you have available some transport here, but there's a limit. You can't spam them. So that's really nice. I found that there's another interesting thing, and you can see it in this particular deck. Let's create just a general one, create, whatever. Infantry, let's go infantry to the, for instance, the US infantry. And let's roll infantry rifle. And see the rifle infantry. So this is the rifle infantry. However, you will see that they are two rows for, for instance, light rifleman or for the rifleman. One is rifleman, another one is rifleman 90. Now let's see how they compare. Let's pin this unit and compare it with the other rifleman. The first thing you will notice is that one is available in 1986, 87, and the other from 1975. So this is a Cat C available unit, and this only can be used in a Cat A deck. You will see as well that the weapons are somewhat different. The 1975 rifleman have a M72 low. The 90s rifleman has a 84, which of course has a higher accuracy, has much better AP power. This of course might seem like not that big of a difference, but however, if you go to, for instance, Fusiliers and pin this unit and compare it with Fusiliers 90, you will see that even the rifle has changed, and the LMG has changed, and the rocket has changed. So depending on the different nations, you will have different eras of infantry. So also you have not only in Fusiliers, you have also in the Gurkhas, which is a new unit, by the way, for the British. You have Gurkhas and Gurkhas 90, also with differences. They have the best and the same Sterling, but they have a different machine gun and a different rocket. So also these can come with very different transports. Let's see if we have a good instance here. Yeah, for instance here, the Fusiliers in the 1975 flavor can come in a always stalwart, in an FV432, in a Lynx AH1, or a Lynx AH7. However, the Fusiliers of the 90s can come in Saxons, which are not available for these ones, can come in Warriors, which are not available for these ones, and can come in Warriors with reactive armor, which are not available for these units. Of course, again, with limits. You can see you have a limit of 2 transports per different type of transport. 2 warrior with reactive armor, 2 warriors as such, 2 FV432s, 2 Lynxes, etc, etc, etc. So you have to choose exactly how you want to spread out your units in your transports. So that adds another layer of complication and another layer of strategy to your deck creation process. So yeah, this is it for this, my first Red Dragon video. Of course, remember this is closed beta, there are a lot of things that are coming, probably a lot of things are going to change. I'm thinking probably regarding some unit stats and of course the availability of the cards of different nations, because right now, as you could see, it's still not implemented. But for a first look, I think this is pretty good. You will tell me in the comment section below what you think about well, what you have seen. As always, guys, I hope you had fun watching this video. I hope you are as excited as I am with Wargame Red Dragon. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later.
city. There's a place where life's a little easy. A stress from the world outside. Every longer will be alright.